Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Living Life at Life View. I am Dr. Garcia Chaparro, Dr. Veronica, and I am joined today by Dr. Marla Thompson. Hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for carving some of your time to be here with us today.
No problem. Since it's a little chilly outside, we'll make sure that it's nice and warm in here.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. Talk to us a little bit about what is your role at the university?
For the past 15 years, I have served as an adjunct professor in the business department, and I absolutely love it. I have had the opportunity to interface with a variety of different students, and with the programs that we currently have, the students could be undergraduate students. They could be coming straight from high school, or they could have already had a career and decided to make a transfer or switch, and decided that my class was the one they wanted to be in.
I love that. And from the business administration program at Life University as a bachelor's degree, what do you think it sets apart having that bachelor's degree education here at Life University versus other beautiful institutions out there?
Well, students will tell you that they love that we have smaller classes. And because we do have smaller classes, it gives the students an opportunity to engage and maybe make lifetime friendships with their classmates. But also it gives the instructor an opportunity to interface with the student, really kind of get to know them. And I like it because if a student, you know that they have potential and they're just not fulfilling that potential, I like to pull them to a side and say, look, I know that whoever is financing your education did not bring you here for you to just be meandering or just to get out of here with a C, because I know that you can do better than that. Yeah. And I'll do anything I can do to help you do that. But, you have to do your part also. So that's why I like the smaller classes, because then you can have a one-on-one with them and you can really develop a relationship. And in doing so, I have a student that graduated in 2018. And this student had the opportunity to go to Beijing, China, and teach English there. And when she was in my class, the first class she was in, she was not the best student. And so we had to have a one-on-one come to Jesus meeting.
Love it.
And in the come to Jesus meeting, I think she realized, and all the other individuals that were there to support her and to support me, said, can't you understand that Dr. Thompson really wants you to deliver excellence?
Right.
And that kind of turned her around, but she still failed my class. But she came back to take the class again. And since she just wanted to see, that's all she earned. But when she graduated, she went to Beijing, China, and she and I have become the best of friends.
I love that.
And, it created that long-term relationship that started off being very rocky, but we were able to smooth things out. And it really demonstrated to her that one of the best things that differentiates getting an education at Life University in the BBA program is that we care. I'm passionate about what I do. I don't go home on vacations, when we have time off and just sit around and not do anything. But I do a lot of that too. But I plan for what am I going to do next?
Right.
I think one of the reasons that students love being in the BBA program and on our classroom, because we have such a brilliant, diverse staff of individuals who are entrepreneurs in and of themselves. So they come to the classroom with the entrepreneurial spirit, and they can talk from both sides of the aisle, because we have people that have worked for multinational corporations or did business with multinational corporations, where they were able to understand all the facets of business and be able to help that business grow and then bring that back into the classroom. And students love that. And then another thing that we do in the BBA program that differentiates us is that we'll go outside of the classroom and get a business person that might have a nonprofit or might have a small business, and they come into the classroom and present to the students. For example, one of our students graduated and they bought into a Domino's pizza business. And when they bought into this business, they came in and did a presentation. And I think the students enjoyed it because they brought pizza with them. But they got to understand what it takes to be a franchisee.
Right.
And how important it is to understand the basic foundational concepts that we were teaching them already in the business program, to be able to execute those things and do the right thing necessary to be successful in the business world. Right. So they loved it. But another thing that we do is we come in with this genuine creativity. Yeah. And I know in my classes, for example, this past Monday, we just celebrated the life of the civil rights icon, Martin Luther King Jr. Yes. So I would, to incorporate what we're learning in the classroom, and because we had the day off, I let them know this is a celebration of civil rights and doing for others. It's not a day on, it's a day off. So you're going to make contributions to your fellow person or even your community. And it coincides right with our purpose to live, to give, to love out of abundance. And so I gave them an example of what I did. And then I asked them, so what are you going to do to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. holiday? Yes,
that is beautiful. And it's beautiful that one of the things that students experience when they're in a classroom with you or when they're in the BBA program is to get out of their shells. And I think that's so important because I understand and I think that it's such a big pressure when you're graduating at age 17, age 18 to choose what you're going to do for the rest of your life and having these maybe doubts, having some doubts here and there, but to allow them to see past those doubts and look at themselves in the mirror and say, hey, I am so much more of what I even thought I could be. That is beautiful.
And we're a non-judgmental company.
Exactly.
And because we're non-judgmental, it gives an opportunity for students to grow, to expand, to build their confidence and help them understand that you can make mistakes here. But when you get out in the real world, it's going to be a different ballgame. But we're not judging you here. We just want you to be the best person that you can be.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you for giving those students the opportunity also to bring other alumni or even not alumni that have experiences, that have had those challenges, that have, walked into a glass wall that they didn't even know it was there, myself included, and having to, kind of reroute and relearn a new path. That it's so nice. I'm currently in the process of mentoring a student, and one of the things that I tell them is like, I can teach you all the mistakes that I've made, and I can teach you like what I've done to overcome it. But at the end of the day, we do learn a lot from our mistakes. But it is nice to have a heads up.
Right. Someone to kind of navigate the minefield so that you don't make the same mistakes, or at least you know what I faced when I hit that minefield and how I was able to overcome. And maybe my experience can help you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What are some of the highlights that you think that the people out there should know about the business administration program that Life University has, besides being a small classroom, and besides having the opportunity of building those relationships? What are some of those opportunities that students receive?
Well, I am just really excited to be able to share that. I believe that one of the things that the university is working on doing is having an internship program. And I was able to work on the internship as a liaison a couple of years ago before the pandemic. And it gives the students the opportunity to see what the real world of work is like. And it's really interesting because some of the students may not have been the best student in the classroom, but when they got out into the real world and I had to go into the actual business and ask, how's Johnny doing or how's Sally doing? And they would say they were the best person ever. We want to hire them. And the great part about it is we had about 4 or 5 students who actually were still in the program here. They were maybe 2 or 3 classes left, and they got hired.
That's amazing.
And so it's we're an international campus. We have I think 65 different languages that are spoken on this campus.
On campus.
Yeah, and with that kind of environment, it makes you feel, we have the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And every single month in this university, there seems to be some kind of announcement that we're celebrating Women's Month, or we're celebrating Hispanic National Month, or we're celebrating the Native American Month. We're always doing something to make students feel like they belong, because you can say diversity and equality and inclusion all your life, but if you don't feel like you belong, you know, what is it all worth? And I think that they feel like they belong. You know, a lot of them are student athletes, and they might belong to a different club, but you know, when we come together and we bring those outside resources, it makes all the difference in the world. Because you know, I can tell them, you know, about business, tell them blue in the face, but if I bring somebody else in that's actually physically doing it, it just makes all the difference in the world to them. So
it looks like you understand.
And I'm just so glad that we're able to do that. And we're right here in Cobb County. With all these businesses right here, we can walk out on Cobb Parkway and go grab a business person to come in and talk to our students and let them know what's really going on. Or we can have a day outside of the classroom.
Even more fun.
And take the students into an environment, and they can just say, wow, I didn't know I had to do this. I didn't know that I had to be on time. I'm never on time to class. Oh, I know that. You know, I didn't know that it was important to communicate. And communication is not just you and I speaking to each other.
Right.
It's the verbal, it's the written, and it's the nonverbal. Because with everyone in their cell phones, and if your boss is talking to you, and while you're talking, you're flipping your phone or you're answering a text, you're not properly communicating. And you need to make sure that you're able to do that. And you have to learn how to write. And I am after my students each and every day on writing materials, and I give them all the information that they need on the front end. And then instead of beating them up and saying, you didn't do this, you didn't do, I say, oh, did you forget to cite this in APA format? Or did I just miss it? So, you know, I don't want them to be crushed by what it is that I'm saying, but I want them to realize that I really care, and I really want you to be able to get it right. Because if you are in a business environment and you write something and you don't use the right vernacular, which is a part of the communication too, or you use text speed, or you use street language, that is not going to work in a major corporation. So those are the kinds of things that I make sure that I share with them. And also, I let them understand that when you work in a major corporation, you might have to work with a group of individuals and collaborate on something. So you might have one piece of the project, and somebody else will have another piece, but you got to have your piece done on time, and it has to be accurate.
Exactly.
And then you have to be agile and flexible, because look what we had to do when the pandemic hit. We were in school in the middle of the pandemic, and it was week 9, and we had to stop everything. And whatever they did between week 1 and week 9, that's what we had to grade them on. And businesses had to learn how to be flexible. We had to learn how to be flexible. And we did that. And so those are the kinds of things that people need to make sure that they're aware of, that are important, and that are going to allow them to be successful. And I'm sure that my student that went to Beijing, China, had a whole new cultural scenario that she had to go through, because she was a woman of color, and she's teaching elementary school students English, and I'm sure that they were teaching her a whole lot of words in the language that they spoke. But there was a major cultural change for her. But the great part about it is you can be sitting down in the cafeteria here, and you could be sitting next to some Asian students, some African American students, some Latino students, some Native Americans, some people from Pakistan, and that gives you the level of comfortability that you might not get somewhere else.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much for going above and beyond with our students, and not just focusing on the program and the curriculum, but also helping them develop themselves into professionals, and develop themselves into, and give them the tools, the toolbox, right? All full, so that they can be successful.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
One thing I'd like to say, I heard a quote that I wanted to make sure that I shared, because I know that this is going to be broadcast somewhere else. And one of the things that Robert Schuller said this, and he said that, and I'm paraphrasing. I always tell my students that you can count how many seeds are in an apple, but you can't count how many apples are in a seed. And it's our responsibility as instructors to make sure that we plant the seeds, nurture them, and watch them grow. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for carving again some of your time to be here today. Thank you for all you do for your students. And guys, this is the quality that we have as professors in the institution. That's why I'm so proud of being an alumni of Life University, and I keep coming back. I hope to see you guys back at our next episode and you get to learn a little bit more about the hidden gems that we have in Life University. Have a beautiful day. Thank you again.
Thank you.